This is going to show you how to create wall sweeps, which wall sweeps allow you to add um, trim detail to walls and things like that. So we're going to look at the 3D model. You can see that I have a two-story house, and I have a separation here I want to add a water table to, and I also want to add a mud sill. Um, and then I'm going to show you how to add fascia and soffits to the roof. So let's start with the foundation plan. I'm going to select the wall type and edit the wall type. I'm going to duplicate it, and I want you to rename this foundation wall concrete to with sweeps. We're going to add 2 sweeps. So under structure, click edit, and this is what the wall configuration looks like. So we have core boundaries. Inside the core boundaries of the structure, if I added finish, I'd add that to the outside or the inside. There's the interior side, there's the exterior side. So this is a full section view of the wall in height, and I want to add a sweep. Now I've already created a profile that you can use, and if you would like to know how to create your own sweep profiles, I can do a separate video for that. But I created 2 that I think would be useful. One of them actually Matt Arroyo created. So under the what we want to do is load the profiles that you need. So click on load profiles, and I have stored the profiles that you want in 2 locations. First, you can go to the 220 folder, which is where Matt Arroyo says his things, and go into the families, and then go into profiles, and the profile that you want is a double 2x8 sill, and just hit open. Then also load under the R drive 165 in the assignments and handouts, living codes, and Revit family files. I have a water table sweep here. Okay, let's open that. Now we can add these profiles to the wall. So I'm going to add the double sill to the wall, and if we look at the view over here and hit apply, you see that there's a blue box that was added to the bottom edge of the wall. We want to move that to the top. So if you look at how we apply it, we want to apply it from the top, not from the base. And if we apply that, you see down the profile of the 2x8 mud sills are at the top. And that's going to be actually more detailed information as well when we look at this in section. You'll see that it adds an anchor bolt and the detail lines for the 2x8s stacked on top of each other. So I also want to add a water table to this. So I'm going to add another profile and make this profile the water table profile, water table sweep. And we want to also add that to the top. And we want to take a look at how it's being applied to the top. So I'm going to hit OK here, and I'm going to zoom in on that view so that we can see it a little bit more closely. Do you see how the water table is overlapping our 2 top plates? So we want to fix that. So we go back into sweeps. I will select the water table, and I want it to be to the exterior side, but I want to offset it out the thickness of the water table, which is about, it's a 1x12, so it's 3/4 of an inch. And then that pushes that out to the outside. We're going to hit OK, and hit OK in the wall type, and hit OK to get out of the type properties. And now that wall right there has that wall type added to it. So I'm going to go to the other 4 walls that I have and make them my new wall that I created, which is a 10-inch concrete with sweeps. And then we're going to take a look at what that looks like. So if I add a section and I go into my section view and zoom in, there's that detail. So I'm going to add 1/2 inch equals a foot here instead, so we can see the detail information a little bit better. And so the way that I set up the water table profile is I added a 1x12 profile, and then we see the two by 8 profiles for our mud sill. No matter where we cut that, it's going to add that information to our wall. And so that's a really great way to add that kind of detail. So you could do a similar thing with the exterior walls and crown molding on the inside by creating a sweep. So take a look at the next video to see a sweep. Now, before I do that, though, I'm going to show you how to add a soffit and a fascia. So I'm going to go back to the 3D view, and you can see there's the water table there. And you can give that a material too. Go back to the 3D view, and if you go into architecture and click on the roof down arrow and choose fascia, we can create fascias on the surfaces of the existing roof. I have a 1 by 8 fascia selected. If you don't like 1 by 8, you can, I think as a default, you get 1 by 12. We can edit the type and add different sizes. So I'm going to click on that side. I'm going to restart fascia, so I create a brand new fascia on the other side and click on that side. I'm going to restart fascia so I can click on this one, and then restart one more time and add fascia here and here. And that's how we can add fascias. Now, we also would like to add a soffit to this. Soffits are a little bit more involved. We have to do those similar to the way that we do floors and ceilings. So I want to go to the roof level and choose architecture roof soffit, and I'm going to draw using a rectangle. I'm going to draw a fascia that fits into this space right here, and then I'm going to draw another one on the other side that fits into this space right here under the roof. And then when you're done making the profiles, click on the checkbox and we'll take a look at that in section. And we have a soffit that comes in that's it's not really the type of soffit I would want to use here. We don't need all that. We don't need these lookouts. So I'm going to edit the soffit. You choose edit type. We're going to duplicate it, and this is just going to be a 1/2 inch plywood. Whoops. There we go, 1/2 inch plywood. And I want to get rid of the structure in here, but I can't do that until I make the plywood the structure, so I move that up so it's inside or in between the corner boundaries. And then you can get rid of the other structure. And now we have just a sheet of plywood at 1/2 inch. And we have to do a little bit of fiddling to get the height at the right spot. So I'm going to select the sheet of plywood that's representing our soffit, and I want it to be down here closer to the bottom edge of the roof. So we can do one of two things. We can select the roof line and we can change the fascia depth. So let's try 5.5. That's just about right. So let's make that 5 3/4. Well, looks like we want to go in the other direction, 5 1/4. And maybe just a 5. All right, that looks perfect. So now we have our roof cut to the edge of where the soffit is. I think I did some fiddling with the roof to get this to be the height that we wanted. Before I got started, you notice I joined my ceilings and my roof and things like that. But for the most part, as long as you have the roof at the correct level, and you've set your soffit to be attached to that, you can also select the soffit and offset its height here. So we have it at the roof level. If I want it to be a little bit lower than the roof level, I can put in a negative number here. So let's take a look at our final 3D view. Let's go down here, look at the 3D view. And so now we have our fascia. We go a little bit closer, you have a soffit detail in here. Let's go in this direction. It looks like the soffit's still kind of buried in the wall, in the roof system, but at least that adds that kind of detail to the walls and the foundation walls. So you can add that kind of trim pretty easily by using what are called profile sweeps. And so take a look at the video on how to create sweeps